It is it's time. It's time. We think today's the day. Hi, welcome. Welcome to a really exciting stream. It's been an exciting week in spaceflight. I can't even begin to express how big of a deal this whole week has been. We've had, less than a week ago, we were going to Mars with Perseverance. Then we had the static fire. Then we had DM2. Bob and Doug came home yesterday, splashing down. Just an awesome night. Or awesome week. So yeah, we are ready to hopefully we're going to see this thing hop today. So this, of course, is SpaceX's Starship prototype. You'll notice we're a little bit more zoomed out than we normally are. And that's for a reason, because that shiny tower there right in the middle of the screen is going to be taking off and flying. And it's hopefully going to fly 150 meters up, which is about... Yeah, the funny thing is if you quit and come back, it works for a second. That's what I'm very confused by. I'm back? Am I actually back? That is so weird. This was on YouTube's end. Are you sure? I've never had this happen before. We haven't dropped a single frame in OBS. Our connections are stable. I think that was a YouTube thing. Have you guys ever seen anything like that? Oh, thank you for your patience. That was weird. We're just sitting here we don't have anything to troubleshoot. YouTube was showing excellent connection. Our throughput was through the roof. Our live stream from Boca Chica was solid. That was confusing. That was really, really confusing. I don't know. But thank you for bearing with us and YouTube. Yeah. So sorry for that. But okay, so we are here to witness history. Hopefully YouTube doesn't totally drop the ball on us again, but we've got some people to thank here right away. Andrea, thank you for the new membership. You're awesome. And so we've got Philip Eicher with the pair lifting some weights. I appreciate that. And Luke Prale. I have been very busy the past 2 weeks. Insanely busy. Maybe I'll go ahead and say maybe a little too busy for my liking. It has been a sprinting marathon, sprinting a marathon for the past 2 weeks. The last week was absolutely bonkers. Getting 30-some minute video out about how you re-enter from orbit and all that stuff. It's been hard, but it's been fun, and we saw some really cool stuff from spaceflight. So a good week to be a spaceflight fan, that is for sure. This is from Marcus. Says, my internet sucks, yet I'm sitting on 10 gigs here. Literally 10 gigs, my friends. I can push 10 gigs up into the internet, and then the internet doesn't even care. Yeah, we've got a pipe here. We're sitting on about $2,500 worth of networking gear as well. We take this stuff seriously, so it seems to be we're all good to go, and everything's running smooth now, though. So it's at this point, I think it's just up in the cloud that's having some problems. So I do apologize for that again. Thank you guys again for coming back. Yeah, like I said, thank you, Paul. Like I said, I'm really, really excited that we can have a zoomed out picture here because we're going to see this thing fly. So, if this thing's about 30 meters, we'll still probably have to be doing some tilting up and a little bit of panning left to get the entire flight. And yeah, it's going to be crazy. I'm just glad you guys are back. I'm glad it's back on air. So thank you guys. How did everyone have an awesome weekend? I mean, this is a pretty historic weekend. This could be a major back-to-back thing for SpaceX. They just flew their first humans to and from space to the International Space Station. Of course, Bob and Doug just got home yesterday with a massively successful milestone achievement of commercial space. People were going, why is this such a big deal? The Soyuz has been doing this for 50 years. Well, that's kind of the point is, that we finally have a vehicle besides Soyuz that hasn't changed in almost 50 years hardly. It had minor tweaks, but all you have to do is you have to look at the Dragon capsule and see the interior of the Dragon capsule and see how it's made to not realize that this is obviously a step in the right direction, and it's cheaper, right? So it's the best of both worlds. It's a cheaper vehicle and updated safety, updated, comfort and features and all of the things. Like it was a big day. It was a big day. Little Oof, thank you for purchasing the new hoodie. I'm stoked. I'm really excited for that. This is from, let's see, YouTube did not have a pointy end up and a flaming end down. We should probably do that, shouldn't we? We've got some checkoff things to do here. So let's start off right away. We do need to do pointy end up and flaming end down. And maybe I should actually dial in to Andrew, my producer, so that he can do this. But let's see. I'm thinking... Yeah, Andrew, we're gonna go ahead and confirm right now that pointy end is up and flaming end is down. I'm trying to type and do it at the same time. I probably should have dialed in, but yeah, I can officially confirm it as long as things sync in the background. There we go, and it happened. Pointy end is up, flaming end is down. I'm even wearing the right shirt for that today. I've got it here. We can confirm pointy end up and flaming end down. It is time. Oh, I'm sad I'm not there, though. A part of me is just crying on the inside, but, and on the outside. But this is still really exciting. I'm going to try and then the other thing we need to tell you guys that the personnel are definitely clear of the pad, so we can check that off as well. Let's see, sorry. The countdown isn't centered in the box. Okay, Andrew, I'm going to address your OCD. Give me 1 second here. Let me fix that. 1, 2, 3. Clickety, clickety, click. Let's see if that's better. Is that better? I gave it 3 clicks. Hopefully it's good enough. Or are you worried about left and right? You tell me. All right, so we thank you guys for hanging out and being here with us, including Robert. So yeah, I feel like we should probably, again, give you guys the full rundown here. I'll just do a quick little thing. So, again, this is, of course, SpaceX's Starship Prototype. We're calling them prototypes. We're going to go ahead and say, I am going to throw this up since we're not really seeing anything yet. I know that sometimes people panic. Not that one. We want this. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because we really don't have much to look at right now so that you guys can read it a little bit easier. But, oopsies, that was the wrong thing to do. Hold on. Good old OBS, like it never wants to play nice. Come on. Clickety click. No. Click, 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 click. OBS, don't be a jerk. Anyway, this, oh, did I get it there? Is this the right one? No! You're making me look stupid on the internet in front of all my space friends. OBS. There we go. Here we go. I'm going to make this bigger. I promise. Look, I did it. I did a thing. I did a thing in OBS and it didn't crash. That's a first. Okay, so this is where we're at here with Starship Prototypes. This is SpaceX's, of course, is their prototype vehicle because their next rocket is going to be the Starship vehicle. So it's a huge, massive upgrade from their Falcon 9. Their Falcon 9s are currently Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy. The Falcon family are their only orbital rockets that they fly right now. And they've been great. They prove that you can propulsively land and reuse rockets with rapid turnarounds. We're getting down to like almost a month turnaround time, which is really impressive. And they're really showing us that a rapid cadence of rockets is potentially possible. So we're seeing a really cool future. But this is the real future here. This is when the whole paradigm shift happens and when things really get nutty, because now we're going to be seeing, you know, bigger rockets. These things are 9 meters wide. When this thing is stacked, what we're seeing right now on the pad behind us, you kind of see these little shiny things on the screen, the early prototypes and the full-size prototypes. That's only about a quarter of the entire vehicle. This will be on top of a booster that's 2/3 of the entire thing, and this will have a nose cone on it that's about 1/3 of what this currently is. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be about 120 meters tall, which is getting close to like 400 feet tall. So it's almost like a 35, 40 story building. It's 9 meters wide, which is 30 feet wide. It's made out of stainless steel, and it's going to utilize SpaceX's Raptor engine, which is their full flow stage combustion cycle. The most advanced rocket engine ever made. The most I guess as far as actually utilizing the propellants, it's right up there. Pretty impressive stuff. And so far we've only seen one vehicle hop, and oddly it was really close to a year ago that it first did its flight, and that was a Starhopper vehicle. Starhopper was just that, it's off to the left hand side of the screen. It did survive its hops barely, and so it did a 20-meter hop and then a 150-meter hop as well. And yeah, we're sitting here. I'm going to turn down the ambient noise just a little bit so you guys aren't getting blasted. But then since then we've seen two. I'll go ahead and say these were mock-ups, basically, the Mark 1 and Mark 2. The Mark 1 was what was at the Starship event with Elon Musk last September, and the Mark 2 has been disassembled in Cocoa, Florida. There are two teams working on kind of how do you build something this big out of stainless steel. And then, of course, we've seen some pressure test articles. We've seen serial number 1, 2, and 3 full-size prototypes all have different failures. And now here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to finally see serial number 5 do its hop, do its job. And there are legs up in there. A lot of people are kind of confused about where the legs come from or why or when or what, how it's going to land. There's legs up around the skirt. I should probably find, Andrew, can you link me to Neopork or someone in Discord? Link me to one of those videos that some of the awesome, like I know Kimmy had a really good animation. There we go. Nordhog, how did you do that? But yeah, someone show me them legs. There's some tweets out there from some awesome people. Yeah, Casper Stanley. That's right. Casper, you had a really good, let's see here. Yeah. But so yeah, there's 6 legs tucked up in there. Once this thing takes off from this little stand, those legs are going to pop out, and they're kind of like spring loaded, and it's really crazy. The craziest thing to me is that they haven't really tested these legs. So what if the legs, or that we know of, I mean, of course they could have done it somewhere, but we haven't really seen them do it. You can't really do it while it's on the launch mount. So who knows? They, you know, that's if now I don't want to ever put anything into, you know, like will anything into existence, but I would definitely say that's probably one of the bigger unknowns, because at this point the Raptor engine, here we go, we got Casper Stanley's awesome animation as well. Let me pull up Casper's. Gosh, there's just such an awesome community of impressive and incredibly talented 3D animators and designers these days. It's so cool. Okay, I'm gonna pull this up here quick. These are about how the legs will deploy, something along those lines. Let us go whoop-de-boop and come down like that, something along those lines. We also have another one from Kimmy Talvitti. I'm sure I'm totally mispronouncing your name, Kimmy. I apologize, but you do some awesome work as well. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys. But let's check this out here real quick, because it's cool. Here, I can make that one full screen. So this is Kimmy's rendition, and again, I think they're both probably pretty much spot on. We've got some pictures from them. Yeah, look at, like, kind of looking up. They're going to deploy about like that. Now, this does only have one Raptor engine on it. Eventually, the Starship prototypes like this, the serial number, probably like 8 will end up with 3 Raptor engines just like this. But for now, these are kind of how the landing legs actually are. So, Kimmy, fantastic work. Support your local 3D artists, because they're helping visualize a lot of these things really well. So, yeah, that's super cool. So that's what's up inside the skirt there at the base of the vehicle. And right now it's sitting on a stand. And yeah, man, I am excited. Again, we're kind of just guessing the time. We're going to keep pushing the clock here at the top, likely going to change. We're just kind of pushing it out until we start seeing some fuel, signs of fueling and things like that. Because we just really have about no idea. But we haven't even seen, condensation forming down on the ground or anything. So we're guessing we're within about an hour window or something, so, super cool stuff. Gosh, you guys do awesome stuff. Oh, I don't think I've seen this one. Hang on. I'm pulling this up, Kimmy. I missed this. Kimmy's actually got a full-blown, or Stanley, Casper Stanley has this, and we're going to pull this up here, and you guys can check this out. Look at this. This is awesome. I haven't seen this even. All right, left monitor so you guys can watch it. This is a full-blown, look at that. Oh, yes. So again, for now, there's only a single Raptor engine, it means it's going to fly crooked because the Raptor engine is not mounted in the very center. It's mounted offset, which means, I saw that last turntable thing, actually. I don't know how I saw that, but not the rest of it. Very cool work. But yeah, so you guys got to follow, Stanley Creative on Twitter and on YouTube. Awesome work. So, this is crazy stuff. This is definitely what we're all here to see. This is what I've been waiting to see for a long time. Unfortunately, we were hoping to see this last year. We were hoping when Starhopper did this thing, it was like, we hope to have the next prototype ready to go in like a few months. And unfortunately, they've learned a lot of lessons. These are new fuels. These are new systems. And, there's a lot of things that they've learned lessons on. So we're really, 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 really hoping. Thank you, Andrew. We're really hoping that this all goes well today because we don't want to see them set back. The last big one that they lost was serial number 4. And that was not a good, hang on, I'm going to do serial number 4 explosion. We had some slow-mo of that. That was not a good thing. That was, let me show you guys this. This was, let's see, like the end of May, right before DM2 launched, they accidentally had this happen. And we don't want that. That's very bad. Notice the pop-up suggested, why won't Starship have an abort system? Should it? I wonder why I suggested that video. Here's slow-mo, quarter speed. We don't want this to happen again. We do not want to see something like this. Although luckily, just stuff flying everywhere. Luckily with this being, something that they're just cranking out these prototypes like it's not a big deal. It's definitely less of a big deal than like, say if, right now, if tomorrow SLS would end up exploding while it's doing its pressure test and green run, that would be devastating because that thing has taken years and years and years and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. And these things are way more akin to like a, multi-million maybe, and they're producing them in a couple months, or at this point they're producing them in a couple weeks. But to redo the ground systems and all that stuff definitely took a little bit. So this is, oh man, this is good, but man, this is some pretty nutty stuff still, though. They're still pushing the boundaries of what they're currently comfortable with. So I'm hoping that everything goes right. The one question I have is I don't know where the COPVs or the cold gas thrusters actually are mounted. I really haven't seen too much from that stuff. So oh gosh, I'm like almost at a loss of words today. It's been such a crazy week. I really, really, really wish that I was down there. I was down there, of course, for the hops last year. I think I spent like 5 or 6 weeks around Brownsville and South Padre Island and Boca Chica. It's not a bad place to get stuck, frankly, especially when Rachel and Jean took me out surfing. It's fun. There's there's some good people out there, but it gets exhausting. Like getting out there from South Padre is almost a full hour each time. Even though you're like 5 miles from South Padre, getting out there is kind of, it's a little bit frustrating at times. And speaking of Rachel and Jean, we did have, this is perfect. Chris, thank you. Yep. Thank you to Jean and Rachel, who are also the ones running the camera for us here at Space Padre Island. And they have been working really closely with the Coast Guard, with other people, because we don't want wayward boats like we had that last test day, whenever that was, Thursday or whatever. We really don't want launch, any boats in the way. We don't want boats to surround the Dragon capsule like what happened yesterday. So they're doing a great job. They're obeying all local laws and have talked explicitly with the Coast Guard, cooperating with the Coast Guard. They're outside of the exclusion zone, just doing everything by the books. And we really, really, really appreciate their hard work and dedication. So, from Marcus, my internet unsucks. Yeah, baby. We're firing on every cylinder now. So the reason that I didn't travel down this time is just a multitude of things. First off, I'm not a big fan of traveling during a pandemic. It's hard. It's a little bit spooky. It's hard to sometimes get food and get things like that, especially when you have to charge your car on road trips like that, it's hard. Some of the restaurants are closed. Like lots of times, like superchargers are only at restaurants or things like that. And some of those are closed. So you don't have a place to go to the bathroom. You don't have a place to grab food. And it's just hard. I had to do it for DM2 at the launch, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't really want to risk that for myself, or, when I hang out with my family quite a bit here. And I don't want to risk exposure to any of that. But also, like, I've had the last 2 weeks have been insane. We got out 2 long videos all back to back. After getting the studio finally all like set up and all the stuff, like I was just ready to not do, not have to go and travel and drive 24 hours to get down there for this. So this is from Zach B, not the Everyday Astronaut, and we're here to hello, it's me, Zach B, not the Everyday Astronaut. We're here to talk about water tower levitation. Can water towers fly? And is Tim Dodd an alien? Well, it's complicated. I like that. Yeah, this is you do almost have to light the candle in order to know which end is the flamey end on this vehicle, because it is it definitely points down, but it's pretty hard. So yeah, Discord. Oh, are you guys talking? Yes, in Discord channel we're talking about we are definitely talking about we're working on a new merchandise fulfillment, because currently our merchandise is all fulfilled from Long Beach. International shipping is horrendous, especially during the pandemic. Shipping prices went way up. The lead times got longer. They're stuck in customs longer. Customs are taking longer. Like if you live in the UK, or if you live in Germany is really bad. Switzerland's pretty bad. Like there's a lot of places that Netherlands, it'll get stuck in customs forever. And it'll show that it'll show on the tracking that the last thing it did was in LA, and it'll be like, it was there for 4 weeks. Yeah, no, your stuff is probably sitting in customs. If it's left the warehouse, then it's officially stuck in customs at that point. So we are working on European fulfillment for our merch store, where we're going to have a separate warehouse with the merchandise. That will make it cheaper for you guys, because like I said, we even discount the shipping. We take a hit on shipping to Europe and internationally, and sometimes depending on what the merchandise is, we literally lose money on some some specific details of orders. We lose money on some of those orders even. I know it sounds insane, but trust me, the shipping is ludicrous. So although it sucks for you guys, it totally sucks for us too, and we totally get it. So we're working on it, and it's something that's kind of difficult to figure out. No, it's beyond just a fan's basement. We have a major operation in Long Beach. Yeah, it's a legit thing. It's a team of people that run the merchandise. It's not print on demand, like put it in a tube and let it go. It's actually pretty legit. So yeah. So we're working on you guys, Europe. I want to, I think it'll be a much better thing in the future. We're hoping to have that out ready for the holidays, because yeah. Oh yeah, Discord is difficult, but yeah, if you guys want to join our awesome Discord channel, we do have that available as a Patreon exclusive perk. You can join it by going to patreon.com/everydayastronaut. We have just an incredible community of like-minded people, people that are all in here to learn together and hang out, and it's just awesome. And we get to go through some of the fun facts that we're working on in videos, being like, hey guys, help me figure out what was the last splashdown type of stuff, and it's fun. We really, really, really have just an incredible community, and we're very tight knit and friendly. So yeah. I love that. Yeah, so that it's a good time. How are you guys feeling? Are you guys feeling good about this hop? Like, I'm curious. I do want to see your odds of success of this going up, doing it, everything it's intended to do, and touching down and being perfectly fine by the end of the day, like having it still on the pad tonight after it flies. I want to know your guys' odds. My odds, I'm above 50-50. I used to be like below 50-50, but for this, I'm like 80-20 actually. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think I almost feel like, okay, again, the landing legs, and then also once it lands and depressurizes and detanks, that's something that to me is the almost the bigger unknown variable. But I think the flight will be great. I think they have it figured out. So, yeah. Ooh, there we go. We're getting really in. Daxar says going up 100%, moving over 80, landing fine 50, falling over afterwards 20. I know what you mean. Like there's different portions of this that I'm worried about more than others. But yeah, it's I think they've got it. Honestly, they've learned a ton. I think the Raptor engine is incredibly mature by now, and I think I'm not worried about that anymore. I'm more worried still about the new fueling systems and some of the valves with the fuel system and all that stuff. So, but all that stuff, you know, is has to be worked out for every rocket, and it's no different. So, yeah, Jason, you just might need to delay your trip to the gym because we're kind of just winging it here on times, like always. But we tend to get we have signs that help us know. As a matter of fact, if this doesn't do anything here or update, if we don't see any ground condensation, we might push it to 7 p.m. local, which would be T minus like an hour and 12 minutes. But we'll see. Let's see here. Is the 150 meter from the bottom on the serial number 5 or the top? So 150 meters is the total height traveled. So you just add 150 meters to either of those, 150 meters above the nose or 150 meters of travel. You know, it's not, I don't think they're going to say 150 meters, the nose cone to the top of it to sea level. I don't think. But then again, Your Dog. I have to pull this up. This is funny. Hang on, guys. This is funny. I really wish I could do bigger things on when we... Oh, this is from Njordhog in our Discord channel. This is good. When you forget your rocket orientation check. That would not be pointy end up, flamey end down. That would be very bad. I think we're pretty confident it's at least facing in the correct orientation. At least somewhat. Hard to tell though. Alexander, hopefully you saw us talk about the landing legs. We did a whole thing about the landing legs. How stable is it? I mean, it's landing on totally flat ground, so it's not like it needs to, you know, really be able to pivot or do anything like that. So the landing legs should be fine, but who knows, honestly. Like I said, that is a variable. They are up inside the skirt. The skirts pop down. I would definitely check out. There's a lot of good 3D animators that, yeah, we already confirmed the pointy end up, flamey end down. That is why that is highlighted. We are good to go. We are doing it. So, yeah. So, oh man. Yeah. Sham Jerry says can't be as stable as Falcon 9. Well, can it though? I mean, right now, again, this already has a wider base than a Falcon 9. It's 9 meters wide. The Falcon 9's only 3.7 meters wide. So it's almost 3 times wider to begin with, right? So it already has a wider base. Its center of mass is really low. Again, that Raptor is slung in there pretty low. It's not like, you know, these things, they look so tall and wobbly, but assuming that it lands okay, I don't know. It'll be absolutely crazy. It's going to fly again. It's going to fly crooked. It might do like a power slide off the pad. And then I'm just nervous when it lands. I hope it doesn't have horizontal velocity that like trips those legs back in. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Yeah. Thanks for the membership there, Rob and Mark. Let's see. Plot twist. Serial number 5 lands on Starhopper, flies to Mars. Oh, poor Starhopper. Starhopper is no longer the star of the show. And look how just rinky-dink it looks compared to, you know, serial number 5 up there. It is quite a bit different. So, let's see. Yeah, so let's keep going here. Thank you so much. Water towers can fly. Absolute, Mike Roberts. Thank you. Here's a good question from Sam Dillon. This is a great question. So I'm going to wait for that to clear out of there, and then we'll pull this up. How tall is serial number 5 compared to a Falcon 9? So Falcon 9, the first stage booster is 45 meters tall, which is 75 feet tall, basically. Wait, is that right? 70 meters tall in total. Sorry, and about 150 feet tall, almost, right around 150 feet tall. The entire thing, stacked with the fairing and everything, second stage, that's 70 meters tall, which is, I haven't done 220 feet tall. So, yeah, this is a little bit, what we're seeing on camera is a little bit shorter than the first stage of a Falcon 9. So this is about 30-ish meters tall, which is about 100 feet tall. So it's about 2/3 the height. Basically, when there's the nose cone on this, it'll be the exact height of the booster stage of the Falcon 9. And then remember, this is just the upper stage, or this is kind of a prototype mock-up-ish of the upper stage. The upper stage eventually will be 50% taller than this. It will then be on top of something that's about twice as tall as both of those together. Like, this is just a tiny little fraction of what this vehicle will be in total. And yeah, so it's a lot bigger. There's a lot more potential. There's a lot larger fuel tanks. Methane is not as dense as RP1. RP1's a lot, about twice as dense, almost as. Let me pull that up. I'll show you guys this chart here that I've got from Everyday Astronaut Raptor engine. If you guys haven't watched my video about the Raptor engine, how the full flow stage combustion cycle Raptor engine works, you definitely need to check that out, because we go into everything, including the fuel tankage and everything. So here is a little chart here, and this is definitely confusing, so bear with me. And it made more sense when we animated it on screen, because we show you kind of the densities. So this is about how big a relative tank would need to be, burning at the fuel to oxidizer ratio. So I guess the tank isn't twice as big, but it is, liquid methane is half as dense as RP1, basically, at about 422 grams per liter. RP1 is about 813. So it's about twice as dense. And you want a dense, it means you don't need as big of fuel tanks, you know, for the same amount of fuel, right? So if you have a more dense rocket fuel, it means you can fit more of it in a smaller tank. And obviously, you don't want a big, heavy tank. That's not good. But liquid hydrogen, on the other hand, look at that. It's like 10 times less dense than RP1, or more than 10 times, like 11 times less dense. But now here's the thing, is they don't burn them at a perfect 1-to-1 ratio. So it's not like you burn 1 gram of liquid oxygen for 1 gram of RP1. You, for instance, RP1 is about 2.7 to 1. So you burn 2.7 units of oxidizer for 1 gram of RP1. But the methane is 3.7 to 1. So although methane is about half as dense, it does burn a little bit more oxygen rich. And that's the kind of the balance they choose between temperature, performance, you know, getting your actual mass ejection, because you want to eject that stuff out as fast as possible. So it's just the right mixture, or maybe that's the fuel. Hang on, yeah, that's all in there. Oh, I guess sorry, I should go to the pre-launch preview of this, because that's all in there. Wait, where is there a pre-launch preview? Am I missing something? Right. It's on the. Hang on. Let's go to the main site. This is all in there. My bad. Here we go. Pre-launch preview. Okay, so yeah, we can actually do this rundown anyway. I'm sorry that we're not really seeing the rocket right now. I would like to make it so it's a little bit more out of your guys's. Because I do want you guys to be able to see the rocket. You know, that's what we're all here to see. So we'll do this for now. It's not the prettiest thing I've ever done in OBS or just in general, but it makes sense. So yeah, this is happening today, August 3rd, 150 meter hop. The launch provider is, of course, SpaceX. This is so small you guys can't even read it. Who's paying for this? SpaceX. The rocket is Starship serial number 5. The launch location, Boca Chica. Launch site, Boca Chica, Texas. Payload mass, there is no real payload at all. There is that squarish mass simulator. It's just a hunk of steel on the top. No satellites. They're attempting to recover the stage. They sure better. The first stage will land. The only upper stage is going to be landing on the landing pad really close to the launch site. There are no fairings on this vehicle, of course. Not available for fairings. This will be the first flight of Starship-ish. You know, Starhopper, nah. And I don't quite know if we call this Starship, meh, but it's the first flight of a Starship prototype, or at least a more mature Starship prototype, and not just a total like test dummy like it was. Old school. But yeah, I think, so are we saying that in here we actually showed the density? Man, this is an in-depth article. Yeah, baby. You guys need to read this. Ethan, thank you for your work on this one. Yeah, definitely take a look at this. If you guys need a full rundown on everything, go to everydayastronaut.com, and we've got you guys covered. So yeah, there's definitely been some trials and tribulations here. But yeah, so back to the density thing. Sorry, that was a long rant here. This is the you know, it's about 2/3 or it's about 50% more like size of tank compared to relative RP1, but this is substantially more area. There's way more volume in this vehicle, even as is compared to a Falcon 9. So there's a lot more potential energy. Besides that, the Raptor engine is substantially more efficient, produces even more thrust than a Falcon 9 Merlin engine. It's pretty awesome. So this hopefully won't be a rud. I'm sorry that my stream had a little bit of a rud at the beginning, but yeah, we're back in it now, firing on all cylinders. Let's see. This is from Chaz. We go down to the Cape to see the next crew launch. We'll see. Again, travel plans are very up in the air for me right now. I'm not entirely sure, you know, what I want to be doing yet as far as all that stuff goes. Someone wants to know how high is 150 meters for context. It's 500 feet, and we'll likely have to tilt our camera up. 150 meters should be really close to the top of the frame. Like, I'll bet you it would basically fly out of frame. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of panning and tilting to keep this thing. So yeah, let's see. Many thanks. All right, so yeah, thank you very much. We really do hope to see this grain silo fly. Let's see if I think they're going for it, guys. It just feels like they're going for it. I know that Elon wants to get this thing off the ground. He wanted to get this thing off the ground months ago. Months and months and months ago. He's out there, I think, to push for hard work. Oh, man, thank you so much, William. Everyone say thank you to William, who either looks just like Dennis Reynolds from It's Always Sunny or is just happens to be that handsome anyway. Thank you so much, William. That really means a lot. I really appreciate that. Let's see here. Love the channel, and where did that go? Boom, 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 ba-doo. Love the channel and some of the tech sprinkled in during the broadcast, but it will go ludicrous speed. Yes, absolutely. We are ready. Yeah, here we go. We are watching Elon's Twitter feed to see if he gives any updates. I try to prod him to see if we can get anything. You never know. He sometimes, let's just pull this guy up here real quick and see if he has anything. Left monitor, Elon Musk, Mr. Let me get that out of the way. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit for you guys. Come on. OBS is being mean today. No, click right there. Okay. Let's just kind of shrink this down a little bit again. And try not to block too much of the rocket. I don't know. Okay, anyway, the point is we don't have any updates from Elon Musk, despite me trying to get it out of him. So we'll see. We will see. I don't know, guys. What do you think? I think they're going for it, though. I just have a good feeling they're going for it. So we're definitely going to be looking for condensation on the vehicle and all that stuff. Yeah, so so we're thinking, it definitely feels like we're, you know, if we start seeing condensation, I think we're pretty close to an hour. So we'll see. We're keeping our eyes on the tank farm down there. Maybe I'll move my little camera up for just a little bit of time here while we're waiting for it to fuel up, and we can see more of that'll give us a little bit of better sense. Oh geez, my heart is like I'm nervous. If they used warp tool, we would be airborne. It's so true, man. Kerbals just makes it too easy. So yeah, like I said, we think once we start seeing signs of fuel up and stuff like that, then we're probably, you know, within, it seems like anywhere from about 50 minutes to an hour when they actually do that. Jack, this is a good question. When will Falcon Heavy fly again? That's Discord. Can you guys help me out on that one? Because I actually don't remember. There's supposed to be one this fall. I think it got pushed back to like the end of the year. And now with all the pandemic stuff, I'm not entirely sure if it actually moved beyond that even. Help me out, guys. I don't remember. I haven't checked up on it in a couple months, and a couple months in spaceflight is years basically. December net December. is what we're looking at right now. Thank you very much, GVA Morning Show. This is awesome from Hong Kong. Ignore the negativity you're receiving lately. Appreciate your high-end content. Keep going. Greetings from Austria. That's awesome, Team Space. Thank you so much, Henrik. I really appreciate that. You know, like I said, I say this all the time, but we're just here to hang out, be a giant space family, and witness some more history. So, yeah, pretty sure 3 to 5 seconds. Yeah, this will be about 45 to, the whole flight will be about 45 seconds to a minute. So this will be more exciting than the static fire. Those of you that tuned in the other day to just go and then were like really disappointed when that's all it was. Yeah, this is going to be a lot more exciting. So this is from James. Appreciate your perseverance in this continuing endeavor to bring us all this great space. Hey, I really appreciate that. We're, like I said, we're just all here to hang out together and, you know, just witness history and be excited about something. We have something to be excited about in an era where there's just so much bad news, so much sad stuff. Let's see. Hector wants to know, what type of drone does SpaceX use to record these? It's an Inspire. Can't tell from the ground if it's an Inspire 1 or 2, but it's a DJI Inspire, which have, you know, you can change out the actual... Not only can you change out the cameras between like the X3, X5, X7, all those or whatever, but you can actually change, a lot of those have their own dedicated version of Micro Four Thirds even, so like a Micro Four Thirds sensor. It's an awesome drone. Definitely like, I mean, this is, this is sponsored to you by DJI. No, I used to own an Inspire 1 back in the day when it first came out, and it was awesome. Did a lot of aerial work with it. Incredible platform. It's just so cool that right out of the box something can perform so well. So, you're welcome, Ben. I really appreciate that. But they also have a Robo-Dog. Let's see here. Thank you very much. Also from Tad. What are the questions you guys have? I am curious. So yeah, this is my camera. I actually have. I sent Rachel and Jean. It's called a Zcam E2. It's a 4K 120 frame a second camera. They're shooting on a 500 millimeter lens, although they're backed out a little bit right now. No, they're shooting on a 600 millimeter lens, and they're backed out a decent amount. I think they're only around 300 or 200, probably about 300 millimeters. But of course, on a Micro Four Thirds lens, 300 is more like 600, and that's to those of you guys, that's kind of like a 12x. Kind of like 12 time telephoto, 12 times magnification. So they're far away. I know it looks like they're pretty close, but they're actually a ways out there. They are like, you know, a mile and a half or 2 miles away. So about, you know, 2.5 or 3 kilometers away. And yeah, we might need to push the clock back, Andrew, since let's push the clock back to like 7 local, because we still haven't seen any action yet. We haven't seen anything. No condensation in the tank farm or anything. But keeping our eyes open, though. This is, yeah, George, you're welcome. We did intentionally. I wanted him to frame it. And it is going to be flying that way anyway. So we kind of lined it up in the direction that it's going to be flying. So, but I thought it was cool to see Starhopper there for reference as well. Because Starhopper, you know, we just need to continually give it some love. It's cool that we have different views, you know, from between Lab Padre and NASA Spaceflight and here. It's just awesome that we have so much coverage. And again, this is something that normally would have been done like behind closed doors, something that you can't really see. So, yeah, it's just really cool that that we get to be able to cover this stuff for you guys. And that just makes me really happy because this is history. This is fun stuff. Yeah. Thank you very much. And this is from Yegor. The rate at which SpaceX is making moves is really impressive. Can't wait to see what the next few years have in store. By the way, love your content. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I keep saying. Like, I don't know how much of this is feverish pace or how much of it is because we're seeing it out in the open. Like, I bet some of this stuff happens at even the most conservative players in the game. Like, you know, we all think of ULA as slow moving and conservative, or, you know, Boeing and new, you know, Blue Origin. But I think a lot of this stuff does happen just behind the scenes. But then I think this is definitely taking things up a few more notches. Like, they are trying really hard to just absolutely knock it out of the park. Oh, thank you very much, Bamboo Hip Hop. I really appreciate it. Everyone should visit Patreon and join so Tim can get a ride to Mars. I don't want to go to Mars. Please don't make me go to Mars. Mars looks, no offense to Mars, looks pretty bad. There's not a single pool. I couldn't go swimming anymore. There's not even grass. I wouldn't have any squirrels to watch or hang out with and like try to feed. There's a cardinal that's in my tree named Cardi B. Like, what would I do? What would I do on Mars? I would just look at Mount Olympus and be like, I can't, it's so tall, I can't even climb it. Don't make me go to Mars. Don't make me go to Mars. But thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Do you think it'll stay upright after landing? I have no idea. That is anyone's guess. I want to hope it will. Again, it has a low center of mass, and its span is pretty wide, because the whole vehicle is 9 meters wide. So we'll see. Honestly, I have no idea. But, jeez. What an era we're living in. We're watching a paradigm shift in vehicles. It's kind of incredible to me if this can-looking object can fly. Yeah, I said the same thing. Something happened to my mind when I saw Starhopper fly because I had been really close up to it. Well, actually, in March of 2019, I actually got to go up and touch it with permission. I was on a tour of the facilities at the time, which was like a building and like almost nothing else. Like I got a tour with at the time the pad manager. And they let me just go up and just gently touch Starhopper on the leg. Again, with permission. Don't do that yourself. It's behind a gate. Don't get arrested like that one guy that did that. Yeah, seriously, that happened. A guy clearly trespassed. So having been up close and personal, like it just doesn't look like something that should fly. Your brain just goes, yeah, like a water tower or a big giant holding tank. When it flew, when I saw it cleared smoke, you guys have probably heard my video of me just screaming my face off. My brain kind of broke because it just didn't look right. It just didn't look right. It just didn't seem real. And, yeah, I don't know. That was a fun day. This has a similar vibe to me, though. Do you think the crooked flying makes the landing a lot harder for today? I could see it tipping over at the end. We'll have to see, Casey. I mean, there's some dynamics in it that make it harder to control when you have an engine that's offset from the center of mass. Like, it is harder. It's going to be the cool thing though is an engine that's off center can induce roll. So if an engine's going right through the center, which spoiler alert, most engines do, unless if it's a single engine, they're pretty much always in the middle. But if you have you can have like two engines that are offset. For instance, the RD-180, which is one engine, has a single turbo pump but two chambers. You can induce roll by twisting your engines opposite of each other. And that will induce roll along the z-axis. Actually, wait, it's the x-axis of the rocket. It seems backwards, but it is the x-axis of the rocket. Yeah, I know it totally seems like z should go up through the center, but it's x through the center, z and y. Or I believe, I have to remember, I have a video all about that. Why do cylindrical rockets roll? Because you'd think they could just point over in any direction. They wouldn't need to roll to like do anything because it's all arbitrary, right? But I have a video all about that, which is pretty fun. But yeah, the cool thing is though, an offset engine like this can induce a little bit of roll by yawing. And when you do that, because it's offset, that would create some torque on the rotational vector. And yeah, it was really funny though, back in the day when I made that space shuttle axis. When I made the space shuttle coordinate system, when I made that video, I had people constantly saying, "You idiot! Why would you think the x-axis goes through the nose and all this?" People just like berating me about being an idiot, and it's like, well, I trust that NASA has it right in all of their. Yeah, so this is the way the space shuttle was here, and the space shuttle is indicative because it's based on the cockpit. And don't forget, on the launch pad, you're sitting, with your feet facing forward, your head up. And so that's actually your vertical axis, even though, your vertical axis is basically like through the top of your head, which is pointing sideways. So Z, even though the rocket's pointy and going up like that, they actually consider the x-axis, what we're seeing is like the tallest part is the x-axis. And then through your head, Z, and then out your arms basically is why. So that's just the way it works. It's kind of all based on airplanes, hence the cockpit aspect of it. But you wouldn't believe how many people thought that they were correcting me by saying that. So it's like, I'm just following what NASA, I didn't name it. I didn't do it. But that is the way they do it indeed. So, man, I'm hoping that we start seeing some action here. Otherwise, we're going to have to push our clock again. So I'm not seeing any real signs of, of tank clouds or anything like that yet. So we will see. We will see. Let's keep going here with you guys. It's venting grass. Oh, there are condensation clouds on lab stream. Oh. Okay, well in that case, Andrew, why don't we go ahead and say ground clouds? But they can't be those little ones. It's got to be like the real ones. Like the ground tank farm clouds. Let me pull up their stream here quick. Venti grass is happening. Okay, that's good to know. That is good to know. I'm sure most of you guys have multiple streams pulled up. Because that is the way that this stuff works these days. Man. I'm not seeing too much venting, but maybe. Man. Yeah, I don't really see venting yet, but I don't know. We might have to revoke that. Who knows? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet. I don't think we're at the real venting, because there's always some oxygen kind of like bleeding off a little bit in the liquid oxygen tanks, like there. But then when they press it and actually get it ready, you definitely know. It's not just like some obscure thing. It's like, oh, there is stuff happening for sure. So, yeah, that's a good. NeuroStream, that's a good point and a good question. NeuroStream in our Discord says, I wondered if the mass simulator was offset in order to make it fly straighter up and down with the single offset engine. That's a good point. I would not honestly be surprised if the center of mass is slightly offset to make up for that offset engine. I don't know why they wouldn't do that, frankly, to make it fly a little bit straighter. But then again, I think we would have seen that in photos. Like, I think people would have, yeah, I think I would assume that someone would have kind of, people would have figured it out in the photos. But Alex Diaz, is it really going to happen today? We're trying, man. We have no idea. Like, we're all in this together. This is all just a ride. If you are here with some high expectations, tamp your expectations a little bit. Like, don't hold your breath on this stuff. We've seen how many times have we pulled up a stream thinking that it's going to be going, and then nothing happens. But the road's clear. I mean, they are trying as far as we're concerned. Elon said he wanted to do it, ASAP, basically. So we're definitely thinking that this is the day, So again, don't get mad at me or Lab Padre or NASA Spaceflight when you sit here and spend a lot of time waiting for something to happen. You're on the cutting edge of stuff. You're on ground zero here. So there's a very good chance nothing will happen. And we just hang out together. It's not a bad way to hang out on a Monday night, to be honest. So, yeah. For that first epic interview with Elon, hey, thank you very much. That was a fun one. It definitely isn't the last. We had the interview in the firing room right before DM2 with Elon and Jim. That was a lot of fun. I have to admit something to you guys. I assumed first I didn't know that Jim was going to be in the interview, so I only had 2 audio packs. So I had to record myself with an iPhone, which is hilarious. But I didn't know Jim was going to be there. So so audio is already a mess. But then in my head, I'm like, okay, time with Elon. Like, let's talk about, a lot of the stuff. I was going to keep it specific more to like SpaceX working with NASA, right? So, there we go. There's clouds. That's what we're talking about there. Those are some ground clouds. That we can move into ground tanks clouds. I'm still thinking we're within about this is about 40. Our countdown's probably pretty close. It's probably within about 40 minutes. Oh, baby. That's what we're talking about there. And it'll only get more obvious from there, too. It'll only get more and more obvious. So anyway, this interview, I went into it thinking like, hey, I was maybe going to have 5 minutes of time. And I was thinking, I'm going to squeeze out things about like Dragon XL and Starship Lunar Lander, all these things, that had to do with NASA because it was still NASA relations. And immediately, as soon as I'm like, yeah, you guys threw a big surprise with us with the Dragon XL. And Elon's like, we're focusing on DM2 today. And I'm like, like all of my questions and the other things that I wanted to talk about were like out the window in the first 3 minutes. And then coming to find out I had 15 minutes with them, which is never a bad thing. Like that's fantastic. I am so thankful for that amount of time. But in my head, I'm like, panic button, just like freaking out because I didn't know that I was going to have that much time. And I thought we could talk about things other than DM2 because DM2, obviously I was more excited than that for anything throughout the year, and literally my entire career is covering spaceflight. That was the most exciting thing I've ever covered. But like, frankly, I knew most of the things about it. So it just feels disingenuous to me to be like, so tell me about how is this rocket gonna fly? Like I know the Falcon 9, I know the Dragon capsule. I've been inside the Dragon capsule. Like I know the system inside and out. So there's very few things that I can ask questions about that I'm not just playing dumb, being like, no, remind us about, so I had a bit of a panic. So I hope the next time I'm with Elon, it's like, we can just do whatever. And we're supposed to get a tour of the facility down here at Boca Chica. That's a lot of venting. Yes, that's a good sign. That is a good sign. We got strong wind. It's going to be flying into the wind, it looks like. Yeah. So hopefully the next one's even better. We will see. This is, no, I do not live in Texas, Alex. I live in Iowa, which is nowhere near Texas. So it takes 24 hours when I've driven down there previously. Thank you, Randy, for the pair. I appreciate that. And the membership here. So now, guys, what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for the rocket actually venting a little bit. Those are going to be purging, getting ready to fill the vehicle up. And that is that's a good sign, again, that they're moving forward. Like I said, I think our T-minus clock is pretty close. I think we're... notice we have a big ish next to it because we can't tell within... We'll likely be within about 5 or 10 minutes, but it's not that accurate. So try not to get your hopes up too much. But so once we're down within like T-minus 10, we're going to be all eyes. We also might adjust it a little bit based on like hearing the siren and things like that. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. How will it land on its legs if flying at a tilt? So assuming it does fly at a tilt, it'll come down at a tilt and then just kind of like go like this. Now, my question is, if it's flying and it has a lot of horizontal velocity, it's going to have to cancel that velocity out by tilting even further. This thing is going to fly really weird. Like it'll probably take off and do a power slide, right? So it's going to do this so that it can pitch up and be at its about 5-degree angle while flying. Then it's going to translate over while flying 150 meters above the ground. And then in order to cancel out its horizontal velocity, it's going to have to tilt even more back and then land at an angle. And when it lands at an angle, it'll start just on a couple feet, and then they'll slowly kill the engine, which will then tilt out and let it put pressure and on the other landing legs as well. So, yeah. This grain silo has a bad attitude problem. I like that. Let's see. This is a good question from David Willis. How are you, David? Hey, Tim. How's it going? Quick question. Why didn't they choose to go with 3 engines instead of 1? Is it not more stable configuration since it doesn't rely on such a large gimbal? Absolutely, David. 3 would have solved a lot of issues, but brought up other issues. And right now, I think they're just still on the point where they're wanting to solve one thing at a time. So this is just the next iterative step. Attaching 3 Raptors to it right now would just have a lot more things going on, a lot more physical moving parts, a lot more subsystems, a lot more buttons and levers and knobs and gimbals and all these other things. The idea is like, let's just make sure our new architecture works. Let's make sure all of the systems on board can handle. Did I just see a little tiny puff from Starship? Sorry, I'm trying to keep my eyes peeled here. I don't think I did, but yeah. So sorry. I'm okay. So really, they're just doing the path of least resistance. That's been the entire philosophy behind this entire program, is like one step at a time. And so in this case, let's prove that, our quick disconnects will work, because otherwise what you end up doing, we saw what happens when the quick disconnects didn't work, right? For seal number 4, it went kaboomy. Why risk 3 Raptor engines when we're still just trying to solve other things like the GSE, the ground service equipment? There's so many other moving parts and things that they want to solve before they risk having 3 Raptor engines and all the extra control schemes and all of that stuff too. There's a lot going on when they do this. And frankly, actually 3 is kind of hard because the minimum throttle of the Raptor engine is around 50%. I don't know if we've ever gotten some kind of update from Elon on the minimum throttle, but it is actually, deep throttling is an art of its own. And it's, here we go, guys. Hop in about 33 minutes. And that was, okay, so it's probably right. Look at this. Look at this. All right. Andrew, adjust the clock for about 6:55 local. Yes, yes. This is why we think it's going on today. This is why we think it's going on today. Oh. No, I'm going to say we're all watching. Yes. Where's the look? Where's the eyes? What is that? Under C? No, that's not it. C. Now you guys are just watching me tweet. This is weird. Eyes? Look? I thought it was like look. Well, someone help me. I'm going to make it so you guys aren't watching me do this, because that's just kind of weird too. Where is it? I thought it's like C. We'll get it pulled up. But maybe not. Oh, I'm so excited. I am so excited. Why can't I find these eyes though? I'm like losing my mind. Maybe it's not available here for some reason. All right, well, I'm just going to do a more generic thing than like the hands raised. Okay. Who's excited now? Who is excited now? Now it's there, you guys. You guys all have the eyes. Why don't I have the eyes? Whatever. All right, I'm going to retweet that too. Retweet. There we go. I'm going to... Okay. You heard it, guys. Oh, man. I am so excited. Let's see this. Let's see this baby fly today. We're going to see a 30-meter tall grain silo take off on the ground and fly crooked. So, yeah, we're probably getting real close to seeing the venting from the rocket. So probably we tend to think it's around 30 minutes is when we see the burst of the rocket. And yeah, that we'll see here. So in the next probably minute or two, hopefully we'll start seeing a little bit of venting coming from the rocket itself. Oh man. I am so excited. All right, let me keep trying to get to you guys' questions here. I'm sorry that I may have lost some. Did I? Oh, geez. I can't tell. Oh, wait. Okay. Where were we? Gosh, sorry, guys. I'm trying to find... This isn't necessarily a joke about the Proton, but yeah. It's all happened. I don't even know when it happened. I think I was playing Kerbal Space Program, or I was at a rocket launch or something, and I was just like, I'm here to... Oh, that's what it was. I don't know when it was. It was like an Atlas V or something. I was like, I'm here. I'm just here. My job is to confirm that pointy end is up and flaming end is down. I think I said it on like an Instagram story or something. It's just kind of stuck ever since then. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, seriously, it has been a busy week. Thank you very much, Struno. That really means a lot. I think I'm getting so far behind that I can't even catch up with, like, they're disappearing here from me. So I'm really sorry if I miss you guys' things. They're getting kicked out. Crap. I'm sorry, guys. I am losing some of them. Like Neuro Stream, I just missed yours. Members only shirt. That's not a bad idea. Well, we are working on a hoodie that has member patches that shows your insignia of what rank you are in Patreon. So that's going to be really fun. They look really cool. We're almost done with them. They're actually going to be a future Martian version. So, so besides being taller and having a weight at the top, how is serial number 5 different from Starhopper? Well, it's a lot more advanced. It's a lot like Starhopper's walls were thick. It was heavy. It was a chunky old boy. And it was not anywhere near like properly flight ready, right? It was literally just like, let's make some tanks, throw some stuff in there, and let's go with it. You know, like that's, again, the path of least resistance. That's kind of been the whole philosophy behind the Starship. It's been a philosophy in general for SpaceX kind of, but specifically when dealing with this stuff, it was the path of least resistance. It was a very low fidelity prototype, basically. It had enough, enough propellant on board to be able to do the little hops. But yes, I've seen For All Mankind, and I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I think they're renewed for another season. But back to the Starhopper, though, was nowhere near really any kind of actual prototype. Now the serial number versions of this are getting to the point where they're pretty much on to like the actual manufacturing processes, and the welds are legit, and all that stuff is legit. So it's just a lot closer to an actual flight vehicle. Thank you so much from Weege. Truly top. Not sure if you've answered this yet, but when Starship re-enters, is there a heat shield or is it bare steel exposed to the plasma? Good question. They will be having a heat shield still on the stainless steel on the windward surface. So the leeward surface doesn't need it, which is cool. It doesn't need any insulation. Remember the space shuttle, which was an aluminum frame, still had to have those thermal blankets on the back of it so it didn't melt and destroy the airframe, while the front side of the shuttle needed to have those thick silica tiles, needed to have wings to keep it up in the upper atmosphere long enough so it didn't experience peak heating. Starship, on the other hand, can handle a higher peak temperature because it's using stainless steel. And they're going to be doing a 300X series, like a 30X. That's a variant that is going to be made specifically by SpaceX for this vehicle and hopefully for Cybertruck. And currently they're at like 300. They're going to be going to a 304 L stainless steel, which should have a little bit better properties at cryogenic temperatures. But in general, stainless steel is a good balance between really strong at cryogenic temperatures, which is good because it has to handle high loads, and a really good choice too for reentry because in general, oh man, thank you so much, Math. I really appreciate that. Sorry that I'm not keeping up with you guys. This is insane. I really appreciate everyone and the new members and everything. You guys are awesome. So, having stainless steel, though, allows that they don't need as big of a heat shield. So the heat shield on there is presumably a lot lighter weight, a lot smaller, a lot more reusable. It's technically can ablate, meaning it can wick away, but not as much as Pika X. We think they're using their turf rock or however you say it. So it's definitely meant more for reuse in mind. Is the rocket actually venting yet? I haven't actually seen the rocket venting yet, but I still think we're probably on. Yeah, hopefully we're on target here. Let's see. This is awesome. Yeah, so again, I'm sorry. Oh, hey, Devin, Jason, I don't want to miss this. I love saying hi. I love when families are watching this stuff together. So Devin, how's it going? I'm glad you're here tuning in to see history because this is a really cool deal. This is a big deal here. We're about to see SpaceX attempt to fly and hop their most advanced prototype to date. If this goes well, it's going to be full steam ahead towards a more finished prototype. Maybe we'll start seeing the Alanerons, as I call them, the big flippity flappity air brakety things, that are mounted off the side of the vehicle. There's 4 of them in total. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see different statics, like a static surface or more like strakes or something along the top or the front, to reduce complexity. But I think that stuff's all coming up here really, really, really quick. Good call, Andrew. Thank you. Reminding me to make sure I have the live view audio pulled up nice and high when it actually starts to take off. So hopefully, if this goes well today, guys, it's just full steam ahead. We'll see hardware getting rolled out to the pad and more flights, more hops, more advanced prototypes where some of the stuff that's stuck on the outside goes on the inside, and more Raptors, more power, more everything. It's time. We are really excited to watch this come together. I cannot draw on screen, unfortunately, but that's a great question. Yeah, I can't draw on screen, but I probably should do that. I know that DOS does that sometimes. Huge shout out again to my friends and compadres, I guess, the other people in the field as well. Again, the Boca Chica Mary. Obviously, right now we have Gene and Rachel from Space Padre Isle on Twitter filming for us. Lab Padre's always done a lot of work, and it's just an awesome community. I do need to give a shout out though to DOS Valdez, who does work with NASA Spaceflight though. DOS is the reason that I kind of started straying from Instagram. I originally started doing Twitch back in like 2016 because of DOS. He got me started on live streaming. He would take phone calls and help me like learn how to live stream. So DOS is just an awesome guy. He does a lot of behind the scenes work for a lot of people with just thanklessly, he just does it out of the goodness of his heart. I just really, really like that guy. And if you guys ever see him online, DOS Valdez, or on Twitch or on YouTube or helping out with NASA Spaceflight, just tell him that I say hi, and that I really have always just absolutely loved that guy. And he's been a huge help, big supporter of everyone. And he's just I just love that. Because again, we're all team space. Like, it shouldn't be a competition, we're all watching history be made together. And I just really, really appreciate that. So yeah, sorry, that was my rant about how cool DOS is and nice DOS is. Let's see here. A question. I thought SpaceX would send something to Mars this window, maybe a Falcon Heavy with some modified Starlink satellites with cameras. I am surprised too that how cool it would have been to send like 20, upgrade the infrastructure on Mars. I would not be surprised if next window we're absolutely going to see a Falcon Heavy launch a bunch of Starlink satellites. So yeah, guys, this is looking good. This is looking good. Sorry, I'm like totally tuned in here. I'm kind of sorry that I'm a little bit behind here on Discord and stuff too. So, I love that we're about 20 minutes here from a risky and fun flight. So, this is a good question. Will the Raptor engine gimbal for the hop? Absolutely. That's its main control authority, is using the gimbal to steer it. So think of like, holding a broom on your hand where the center of mass is really high up and you have this long leverage and you can balance it using that. That's almost the exact same control vector and control system. It's just sitting there like steering like this, and that'll help it not only stay stable and upright or tilted about 5 degrees, but it'll also make sure that it, is traveling in the direction it's wanting to travel. So, let's see. Question: do you know if there has been any astronauts that had parents who were also astronauts? Example: Apollo astronaut having a son or daughter. That's a good question. That would be I feel like that's a Scott Manley question. Does anyone know? I do not know that off the top of my head at all, unfortunately. I know there's astronaut families. Again, Bob and Doug, both of them have wives that are astronauts. Karen Nyberg, who's Doug's wife, is retired, I believe. But Bob's wife is going up in literally like 6 months or so, or 7 or 8 months. That's pretty amazing. So, hopefully, yeah. So guys, we're still waiting to see a few more bits of the actual rocket. Oh, as I say that, do you guys see that? The Raptor is venting. Let's go ahead and say rocket is venting. They are definitely pressing fuel. I definitely saw some condensation at the base, which means the Raptor is going in for, engine chill and things like that, which means they're starting to really, like, there is fuel flowing through the vehicle. Oh gosh, I just love this stuff. How can you guys not be excited? Even though this is, who knows what we're going to see today? Who knows if we're going to see a big success? I mean, this is just something to be excited about, and just something to come together and cheer for. Again, just some good news, something that we can all strive to either be a part of or, just at least just take part in. Oh man, thank you so much to Leadfoot. I really appreciate that. That is beyond generous. Thank you so much. Yeah. Someone asked if we could, I missed it, but someone asked if we could zoom out. The problem is when we zoom out, this is not a parafocal lens. So if we zoom out, it will ruin our focus. And then zooming back in, yeah, the rocket is definitely venting. This is good. It looks like that COPV is topped off. Yeah, so we can't really zoom out or zoom in without ruining our focus, and we just don't really want to risk that. So what are my thoughts on SLS? This is a great question. Can we get you sized up a bit? During the downtime before, yeah, I can size up a little bit too. So my thoughts on SLS, I have a video that goes into the breakdown of like, why does SLS still exist? And the short answer is, like, I really wish it had come online about 2 or 3 years ago. It would have a lot more beloved place, I think, in history, helping to break in that overlap. But now we're getting so relatively close with other vehicles of similar capacities coming online relatively soon that the overlap might not be as great. Like if it had a 7-year run of being the only super heavy lift launch vehicle, I don't think anyone would question it if it's being put to work. But if it only has about a 2-year run of being a operational super heavy lift vehicle, it's just not as appealing. So I have a video about SLS versus Starship. Definitely watch that. I've got more parts to do from it. Yeah. Tim, can you talk a bit more about serial number 5's inner structure? Are tanks equipped with baffles to prevent fuel slosh? Yeah, there's some baffles in portions. They're relatively simple right now, though. There's not really there's some portions like around the skirt where the engine is up inside that. Around the skirt, there's a lot of structural supports, but when this thing's pressurized, it actually adds a lot of rigidity and strength. So it doesn't necessarily need extra barring on the inside or anything like that. Or sparring, is that? Blanking on the word. But, just like a Coke can or a soda can, when it's full, it's really hard to compress. But when it's empty, it's really easy. You can just go, like that. So, yeah. Good questions. I'm getting the butterflies already. I really... So this is, again, it does have landing legs. The landing legs are tucked up inside the skirt. So right now you don't see landing legs. You're seeing the launch mount where you can see sky underneath it. That's all the launch mount. The landing legs are tucked up. There's 6. Once it starts flying, those landing legs will drop down and deploy. And it's going to be absolutely wild. And we'll have to see if it works. Thank you very much. Ooh, this is cool. I'm hoping it hops today because that'd be an awesome thing to have happen on my birthday. Side note, want to thank you, Tim, for all this stuff since it's encouraged me to pursue an education to get to SpaceX. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's right there what I'm talking about. People being inspired, and wanting to change their own course because they want to help humans explore space, get further into space, go actually see other worlds for the first time, go back to the moon and actually spend some legitimate time on the moon. It's time we push our species forward. And that's what we're hoping to see a very small step in today is seeing a vehicle that's so advanced it had never been attempted before. There's a lot of technologies on this vehicle that were just considered kind of too hard to be worth it. And the ultimate pursuit of full reusability, although that's really, really, really hard to do, I think this is a pretty good architecture. SpaceX has proven they've made reusability work for their Falcon 9 in an economical and viable way compared to the space shuttle, which had the right idea, but I wish the space shuttle had iterated more. Like they had done the first one, got it out the gate there. Challenger, Columbia was I am blanking right now. First flight was Columbia, right? STS-1. But I do wish that they had started with one, seen, they did a little bit of iterations on it, of course, like the heat shield, there were a handful of iterations, but I wish they had really just been more aggressive in those iterations and made it, more and more. Look at that. We are definitely still going. This is great. So yeah, I just wish that the space shuttle had iterated more to pursue reusability more and more, and safety. You know, like ejectable crew cabins and things like that. I have a video again about abort systems. If you guys want to know, like, why doesn't space Starship have an abort system? Should it? I definitely would recommend that, because I go into a lot of the comparisons with the space shuttle as well. Thank you, Rockstar Rule. That is awesome. I really, really appreciate that. You guys, I can't even keep up with you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Again, I'm like literally losing these on the screen. I can't even push them fast enough. I really, really, really appreciate it. I absolutely think there's going to be space hotels in the very near future. Like, I think definitely in my lifetime, there will be space hotels. I think we're just there. Do I think Elon is in there? He is absolutely here. He said he's in Boca control room. Hop attempt in 33 minutes. That was 20 minutes ago. So we're looking at it. Yeah. I'm sorry again that I'm missing a lot of your guys' super chats. I really, really, really appreciate it. Trying to get through these, but we are just absolutely cruising, firing on all cylinders right now. So again, if you just happen to be tuning in, we do have a lot of new people joining us right now. We're hoping, and we're about 10 minutes away or so from seeing SpaceX's next rocket. Some of you, maybe just for the first time yesterday or the last 2 months, saw your first spaceflight thing when you saw Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley fly on SpaceX's first crewed mission. That was the first time humans got on a SpaceX rocket, was just 2 months ago, right? That was on a Falcon 9 and the Dragon capsule, which is, the Dragon capsule's been flying since 2011. The Falcon 9's been flying since 2009, or is it 2011 and 2013? But you know, those are pretty well, you know, established systems, well-established vehicles. Of course, the Crew Dragon variant only flew for the first time in February 2019. But as far as like the architecture, the general, you know, the general entire sense of the vehicle, all that stuff is easy relatively, you know, and it was a low risk thing. What we're seeing now is the next generation, is like the beginning of the next generation of rockets, where they're going to be fully reusable, like an airplane. They'll land the 2 stages, the first stage, which will be huge, which will be almost 3 times bigger than what we're seeing right now. Just the first stage, you know, will land, be able to be refueled and take off again with 30 plus Raptors, 31 Raptor engines on the bottom of it. The Raptor engine is SpaceX's full flow staged combustion cycle Raptor engine. Yeah, it's exciting stuff, guys. And this thing is huge. It's hard to tell you how big this is. Again, 9 meters wide. It's about 30 feet wide. It's around 30 meters tall. So about almost 100 feet tall. This thing is enormous. It's currently being filled with liquid methane and liquid oxygen, which are the cool thing about liquid methane and liquid oxygen. They're relatively close in temperature at their liquid point. And what we're seeing now is we're seeing venting from boil off of those propellants. So when likely boil off from the liquid oxygen, because when liquid oxygen goes from a liquid and warms up, you know, it's Texas heat down here. We're in Boca Chica, Texas, and the Texas heat, you know, when that stuff boils off, it expands 1,000 times in volume, going from a liquid to an. That's why they don't use gaseous oxygen, because the tanks would have to be essentially 1,000 times bigger, which is clearly not practical, way heavier. But yeah, so we're seeing what we're seeing there is basically liquid oxygen boiling off, and I don't think we've heard a siren yet. I'm waiting to hear, but yeah, so that's normal. That's totally normal. All rockets do that, especially those that have liquid oxygen. So maybe not a rocket with solid rocket boosters only, like what the Omega will be in the near future, or like the Minuteman or the you know, stuff like that. But siren, okay, we've got the siren. Yes. Okay, so yeah, we're still on track for about T-minus 10 minutes. Yes. Okay, again, I'm really sorry that I'm just absolutely... my kids were wondering if you could explain why stainless steel as build material. Yes. So, again, I have a video all about this. Why SpaceX went with stainless steel versus carbon composite or carbon fiber. Watch that. Show your kids that video. I promise it'll explain a lot of these reasons, right? But the big thing is it can handle really extreme temperatures. Both, it's very strong when it's at its cryogenic temperatures. Right now, the liquids inside there are like minus 200 degrees Celsius, basically. They're so cold. If you touch the tanks right now, your hand would freeze to it. Very, very, very cold. So stainless steel gets stronger under cryogenic temperatures, something that aluminum doesn't actually do too well. Aluminum at a certain point is substantially weaker. And same with carbon composite. It does not necessarily love being exposed to cryogenic temperatures. It can tend to be more brittle. Same on the other end. In extreme heat, there's a lot higher melting point of stainless steel. Stainless steel can handle really high temperatures, higher than aluminum, higher than carbon composite. And because of that, don't forget that the big key to this puzzle is that this vehicle is intended to come back in from reentry. And when you come back in from reentry, as you just saw yesterday, you experience temperatures of like 1800 degrees Celsius. Half the temperature of the sun will be hitting this rocket eventually. Not this exact one, but the later versions of this. When it comes in for reentry, that's because the air can't get out of the way fast enough, and the air ends up getting compressed. When air gets compressed, it heats up due to the laws of thermodynamics. And next thing you know, it turns into a plasma, and it's just absolutely crazy hot. So therefore, stainless steel has a higher melting point to begin with, and then you add a little bit of a heat shield to it, and you make it so it's totally survivable through reentry. As a matter of fact, even like some deorbited Centaur upper stages that are also stainless steel have survived mostly intact without any kind of like protection system on them, because stainless steel has that high of thermal capacity. So yeah, I love this. This is looking good, guys. This is looking good. Again, I'm sorry that I'm missing a lot of you guys. Let's see. No boats. Absolutely. We've had bad luck with boats in the past. Yeah, I think the Coast Guard is trying to do a little bit more. Look at that. We got good venting at the top. Oh, baby. I am really excited. So again, remember, our clock was based on Elon's tweet. Assuming that's accurate, we might be off by just a tiny bit, but I think it's basically going to be right around, 6:55 local, basically. So, yeah. The drone is in the air, apparently. We do have audio. I'll start bringing that up here a little bit. We do have audio. Drone, I think, was spotted. Did someone say that the drone is spotted? So they just literally have a camera drone. Again, like I said, it's likely it's either a DJI Inspire 1 or 2. Ooh. Yes. I should put on headphones so I don't get feedback. It's headphone time, baby. Okay. I'm listening. Hopefully it's not too loud. Let me know if it's too loud. But we're going to let it. This is awesome. This is true. Orientation check for the Proton was not a joke. You are right. Will Series number 6 be the first with a nose cone? We're not entirely sure yet. We kind of think so, but we're kind of waiting. I think a lot of stuff will be determined today, Yeah. If it's too loud, you're too old, says Gingerman512 in our Discord. Yes, guys, I am so excited. I can't believe we're actually pushing forward still. How do they simulate the one engine offset flight? You can simulate anything in like physics simulators and stuff like that, and just even doing old school math. The Apollo program, people could have learned. As a matter of fact, literally, was it actually, did the Apollo engine have a tiny angle on it? The Apollo Ascent, or was it just that it was offset from the actual center of the vehicle because of the offset difference in the fuel and oxidizer? But yeah, it's something that you just take into account for. You know where your center mass is. In this case, the engine is offset. So when we see this thing take off, expect it. It might make a very scary looking, like, slide off to one side immediately, because that engine is going to be gimbaled. It's going to be angled at a little bit of a degree because the engine is offset. So if the engine was right in the middle of the rocket, which most rockets do have, this particular rocket doesn't, because it's eventually designed to have 3 in the center, all in a nice little triangle, nice and tight around the center. But woo, sorry, I'm like getting so excited. Okay, so because this thing is offset, And because it will tilt or whatever, it's not going to fly straight up. It's going to fly, not only will it power slide a little bit like an Atlas V does with a single solid rocket booster, it'll do some power sliding, but then it will also, once it gets up a little bit, it's going to fly crooked. It'll likely fly at like a 5-degree angle. So, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, so we're going to be tuned in. Again, we might be about a minute off. Our timer could be a little bit off, and there's always a delay from our camera feed down there compared to here. Just a little bit. But, okay, so again, I feel like every time I look up, we have more people tuning in to try to figure out what's going on. Again, this is a prototype rocket down in Boca Chica, Texas. Boca Chica is right on the border, the most southern point basically of Texas, right on the border of Texas and Mexico. And SpaceX has a whole, as you can see, a whole like prototype test pad here. And they have they're building rockets just up the road about 2.5-3 miles away, which is about 5 kilometers away from here. And that's where they're building these things. They're building them in rapid succession now. They're just iterating quickly, these prototypes. And this thing is huge. This thing is 9 meters wide, 30 meters tall. That's about 30 feet wide, almost 100 feet tall. This thing is really big. It has one of SpaceX's most advanced rocket engine. It is their Raptor engine, which is a full flow stage combustion cycle rocket engine. And it's going to be crazy. And again, like I've been saying, it's going to fly crooked because this engine is slightly offset, because the engine is not aligned with the center of mass. The engine's a little bit off to the center, and so it's going to power slide a little bit, likely fly a little quicker. Then it's going to go up 150 meters, which is about 500 feet. It's going to translate over. It's going to land probably somewhere around what looks like the Starshopper over there on the left, bottom left portion of your screen. But here we go. We're really getting in. So again, T-minus 0, we're probably looking at about 655, 656, depending on where we're at here. Someone asked, I just saw it, and I'm going to go ahead and answer it. Is this the first time the Raptor has flown? No. Starhopper, the little thing in the left corner of the screen, flew last year in July and last year in August. It did a 20-meter hop, and it also did a 150-meter hop. That was about exactly a year ago. This is right coming up on that 1-year anniversary of the 150-meter hop. We're seeing it again with a much more advanced prototype vehicle. So Starhopper was the first vehicle in history to fly with a full flow stage combustion cycle engine, because there's only been 2 other engines that even demonstrated that full flow stage combustion cycle is possible. If you guys are curious what the heck is full flow stage combustion cycle, I already have a video called "Is SpaceX's Raptor engine the king of rocket engines?" But I think I need to be getting quiet here and really tune in. But again, I have a lot of videos if you guys need to learn about all of this stuff, because there's a lot of things happening and a lot of it's really exciting. So here we go. We're probably literally within just a couple 30 seconds or so. Okay guys, here we go. And again, we are actually filming this in 4K slow-mo, 120 frames a second. Okay, I saw a good question. What is the thrust-to-weight ratio of this vehicle? It depends on how much fuel they put into it. Oh, that looks like detanking. Maybe, but then again, we've seen this before. This could be pre-startup. Shoot. That looks like detanking. Shoot, I don't think something was happy. We'll see. Maybe it's not done yet. Don't give up on me yet. But that very much looks like detanking. My guess would be something, the engine didn't like something. I think we got right there, right down into, we got right into it, I think. We got right into it, and I think they went to go, you know, the rocket's in a terminal count. It's basically an automated countdown sequence. And I just don't think it must not have liked something. You know, the other day we had a problem where it was getting ready to spin up the turbo pumps, and a valve wasn't working properly. that stuff happens when a vehicle's sitting there under extreme operating conditions. But yeah, this definitely looks like detanking. Although I'm not going to look away. I've learned my lesson. Dang it. Well, that looks like a detanked rocket to me, unfortunately. Now we just have to wait and see. Let's see. I'm just gonna see here if we can get an answer. Detanked. Man. Yeah, scrubs are cheaper than booms, guys. Don't forget, this is all very automated. This vehicle is literally, you know, it has sensors galore. If something is out of family or something doesn't look right, it's going to definitely like do what's safe. And in this case, it appears what's safe was detanking itself. It didn't like something. Something just was not right on the vehicle. Oh man. That's too bad. It really seems like we were right there. We are literally right there. That is too bad. So they might have time to refuel here. They still have another hour in the road closure. Let's see if Elon happens to give any updates. Obviously, our crew is going to be staying out here to, you know, to see if we get another attempt, and if it doesn't happen tonight, we'll be out there tomorrow or whenever the next attempt is. Man. Good question, Ben. Unfortunately, I honestly can't. I don't know much about the tank farm. I don't know why. I think the long ones, the long low white ones, those are the liquid nitrogen tanks. But I don't really know like why some are so big and some are so little. You know, I think they could have, some of those are just nitrogen tanks. Some of them are helium. Some of them, of course, are liquid oxygen and liquid methane. Those are all the different gases and fuels and everything on the vehicle. Shoot. I'm still just gonna refresh here, make sure Elon hasn't said something else. Oh man. Let's see. Will SpaceX use laser tattooing to put NASA logo on Starship like they showed on Cybertruck? That would be cool. That would be really cool. I would definitely be a big fan of that idea. Let's see. So this is, do you think we'll see less venting since they're only filling up enough for a hop instead of a full pressure test? So when they do the full pressure test, they fill it to the brim with liquid nitrogen. That's why you see all the frost on those pressure tests. Liquid nitrogen being cryogenic. Frost, you know, develops on the outside, and they fill it all the way to the top with liquid nitrogen. When they do static fires, they barely have enough fuel to fill the bulkheads. There's like bowls at the bottom of each tank, right? And if they, you know, fill it just up to that amount, you don't even really see the condensation on the outside, just because, and the icing on the outside. That's why we don't see this vehicle look like it has much ice, because there's just not that much fuel on the rocket. So let's see. Let's see again. Yeah, we're gonna clear out our checklist here since we don't really know where we're at this point. Again, a friendly reminder here: this is not like a sanctioned thing. SpaceX doesn't have press or media telling us, they don't have press packets or a published launch time. All this stuff we're just figuring out by looking at road closures, by paying attention to Elon on Twitter, by looking at the progress of where the condensation is around the vehicle to know what's going to happen and when. We wish we knew more information. This is, again, this is just a prototype vehicle for SpaceX. They don't really want us looking at it like this and scrutinizing it, having multiple high-definition cameras pointing at it for when they do fail. I mean, it's not exactly, it's not exactly ideal. Sorry about that, Java Guru. I'm delayed way more than that. I'm just manually trying to read these things, and I just can't keep up with you guys. You guys are breaking my brain, breaking my computer, but I love you guys, and I'm so sorry again that I'm missing so many things and they're out of order. But you guys are awesome. Thank you for sticking with me. Again, I sincerely apologize if I miss some big, like my Tesla adventure, of course. Eli, how are you, my friend? I have something to show you guys. We have in the chat with us the author of Adventures of Starman. That is my Tesla adventure. That is Eli. How are you, my friend? Eli's working on something really special, specifically for our audience. Awesome comic book, like legit comic book series. I am just absolutely blown away by how awesome it is. So if you guys haven't heard of that, definitely check out the Adventures of Starman. We love a good Eli around here. So we're debating because I ran over my own headphone cord. Yeah, we're trying to see at this point if they are able to recycle and reassess. Let's see. When will the next Falcon Heavy launch happen? And what's your favorite rocket from history? So I think this is terrible, hard question. It's a great question, but terribly hard. Like I don't even want to answer it. The next Falcon Heavy is currently net like end of 2020, end of this year. So hopefully that happens. Don't be too surprised if it gets delayed a little bit, just because it's spaceflight. As far as my favorite rocket from history, I honestly, it's somewhere between. I mean, how can you not love the Saturn V? Saturn V is awesome, but I think in a way I actually am I better be careful saying this. Energia was amazing. And also the N1. I mean, those are two unbelievable rockets. And I need to do dedicated videos on them. I can't believe I haven't. Hey, look, that might be repressing. Or detanking the oxygen. Hard to tell. That might be that detank. We will see. But yeah, I don't know. I'm somewhere between Saturn V, the N1, Energia, and Falcon Heavy. I don't know. Can you have 4 favorite rockets? And Electron. I don't know why. Electron just steals my heart. But I have to say I actually like the Energia better than the Space Shuttle. Sorry. I like liquid fuel boosters better than solid rocket boosters. I think that's a more elegant solution. It was a lot more the rocket portion besides the Buran orbiter. The rocket so Buran Energia would be like, I probably don't even know how to say it right because it's I actually like it better than the Space Shuttle though. Sorry guys. I just think it's cool. It's fully autonomous in the 80s. They didn't end up really doing it, but they had options to have like jet engine pods so it could extend its glide range and everything. I just thought it was cool. It was really, really cool. Yeah, that is an upcoming video, is Buran versus Space Shuttle, so stay tuned for that. I'll break it all down for you guys. Hot take, I know. Hot take. Hopper has one radar on top. Yeah, there's a good amount of sensors actually on Starhopper. Starhopper's become like a little radio tower at this point because it has cameras and all that stuff. Let's see. Hi Tim, if Starship works as planned, do you think Orion will still operate? All the best from an Italian in Finland. It's 235. Wow. Yeah, Matteo, I have that video again about SLS versus Starship. Why does SLS still exist? So if you need to know a really deep rundown on why these two programs are overlapping and why it actually still makes sense to have these two programs overlap for a certain period of time. Yeah, I absolutely, I do think Orion will operate, of course. I mean, it's built. There's like a handful of them done. If we built them and spent the billions of dollars to build them and didn't fly them, I think that'd be a much bigger shame than being like, you know what, nah, Starship, you know, might happen in the future. Like, Orion is now, SLS is now, like, you can't argue with that. They're going to be flying, you know, relatively soon. The hardware's done. Starship is very much still in its infancy, but growing quickly and developing and iterating very quickly, insanely quickly. So hard to predict quickly that it's hard to really figure it out. You know, it's hard to predict this stuff, but it's hard to tell how much overlap. Oh, nice. You got Ken has a full year membership. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you watching all my stuff. Let's see. This is a great question from Epic Space Models. How you doing, Epic Space Models? How will SpaceX manufacture the propellant for the reaction control system on Mars? So remember, their eventual plan is to actually use liquid methane, liquid oxygen. These are going to be hot gas thrusters. What most thrusters use, we'll go through a quick little history of thrusters. The most simple is a cold gas thruster, and that's what's on top of the inner stage of the Falcon 9. So you can see my rockets in the background. You've sometimes seen when the booster separates from the upper stage, the booster does a flip maneuver, and it has these little pods with 4 little RCS thrusters, 4 little reaction control thrusters. And when it does that flip, it's using cold gas thrusters. It's literally just compressed nitrogen. It's not very efficient, super simple, super elegant, no big deal. Besides that, most satellites will either use monoprop, which is just a propellant that reacts with a catalyst and will have a chemical reaction against a catalyst, and therefore it gains a little bit of efficiency. But all you have to do is open up some valves, and it will fire. We were talking about that yesterday with the Super Dracos. I talked about that in my video about how you come back down from orbit. But then the most common is a biprop. And so right now this vehicle has on it actually cold gas. We would think it has like a couple nitrogen COPVs. And then on top of that, condensation lines. Okay, cool. But as far as what eventually is going to happen on this vehicle, it will eventually use the liquid methane and liquid oxygen. So the propellants that are on board. So they'll be able to manufacture liquid oxygen and liquid methane on the surface of Mars using the Spadre process. And right now what's heading to Mars as we speak, of course, Perseverance is heading to Mars as we speak. Ooh, there is some venting again from the rocket. Notice below the rocket, there's engine chill down again. That's good. I think we need to go to rocket venting. I hope this is a reset. I really hope this is a reset. Oh, it has been there for a while. I did not see that. And we don't see other... Yeah, if we're only seeing a little bit of residual there and then just that, you know, the big flare over to the side. I don't know. I wish we could put a big old fat ish, maybe. Andrew, throw a maybe question mark over top of the rocket venting? Because I don't know. We have no idea where we're at right now. We don't have any real assessment. Hoping that Elon says something. But, yeah. The trifecta here. This is awesome. Watching Everyday Astronaut, Lab Padre, and NASA Spaceflight at the same time on your triple screen. That's awesome. Yes, again, just keep your love flowing for those people. I mean, everyone's working so hard on so many different aspects of spaceflight, and I just love the whole community. It's so awesome to see what everyone's doing coming together. So I love that people do say, like, you're stealing views. It's like most people have more than one device in their house. There might be a couple people that are only watching a single device, and for those, make your pick of whoever, whatever commentary, whatever view you like best. No harm, no foul, no, it's all good. It's all in the family, obviously. Like, we're all here just to witness history. But as far as, like, I know most people will have, like, a laptop and their TV and their phone, and they have all screens pulled up. So I totally get it. I think that's so cool when there's the trifecta like that. Yeah, I like the idea of stealing views. People forget that I was live streaming this stuff last March of 2019 with checklists just like this, basically. This is there's nothing novel about any of this stuff. All of us are just doing something that we enjoy and are here to provide the community with access. So yeah, thank you so much to Stephen. Oh, and I should probably, Stephen, I appreciate that, really. I should probably go back real quick to the hot gas thrusters, though. I do have some questions, and I really hope that Elon answers some of these sometime. Here's my theory. Ready for this theory? If you have, those small header tanks, or the little, not the header tanks, the header tanks, little slosh tanks, basically, that can be under different pressures, you could also have, like, COPV still inside the rocket that also still just hold higher compressed liquid oxygen and liquid and liquid methane, and then you could feed those out to to your reaction control systems, because otherwise, if you're running your reaction control systems off the main pressure, you're limited to 3 bar, and it's just not a lot of thrust, and it's not very efficient to have those low of operating pressures for a rocket engine. You're much better pressing up. 3 bar is what the tanks are at. The inside the combustion chamber of the Raptor engine is near 200 bar, 300 bar. They're working at 300 bar. Sorry, they're like 276 right now. It's substantially higher, and because of that, you get more thrust, you get more power, you get higher efficiency. So running cold gas, or the hot gas thrusters off of 3 bar would be very bad. So I think it'd be cool if they used a Tesla motor, had a COPV, and ran a pump, and actually whenever there's spare time or whatever, when they need to recharge, you could recharge that COPV ingest in low pressure liquid oxygen and liquid methane, continue to pressurize with a rechargeable battery, with solar panels, and just continually repress your RCS system. So it's almost like pump fed, take a little bit of a note from Rocket Lab and pump fed engines, electrically pump fed engines. But instead of feeding the actual little reaction control engines, which would have a little bit of a delay, instead you have like a holding tank, like some kind of auxiliary tank that is just there to rapidly fill up and continually repress. And then you can still have your quick reactions of your reaction control systems. But you still have to have an ignition source. So there still actually has to be some kind of spark or something like that in your ignition source. So we're still hanging in there, guys, to see what exactly... This makes me laugh. Look at Mr. Muscles over here crushing cans with his bare hands. If you have an empty can, isn't it fairly easy to crush it? I mean, obviously I'm super strong, so I get it. But again, we're just happy to see this thing still vertical. Let's see. Do I have a video comparing Orion versus commercial capsules? Not really-ish, because so far the commercial capsules are not meant for anything but low Earth orbit. People were mad at me for not including Orion when I did the Starliner versus Dragon. Orion is serving a completely different purpose. It's a totally different vehicle than Starliner and than Crew Dragon capsule. It's meant for deep space. It's meant for the moon. It's never intending to go to low Earth orbit. There's no real reason or possibility for it to go to low Earth orbit. So it's just a different vehicle. There's not really anything commercially competing with it right now. Eventually Starship should and could compete with it. But yeah, we're just still waiting, guys. Again, it's better that this vehicle is standing, even though it didn't do what we wanted to see. We're just happy happy that we're seeing something. So, let's see. That's awesome. That's very cool. I'll take that little history fact. You guys are awesome. Again, thanks for sticking in here and hanging out with us. Guys, I might take a real quick little break. I'll leave you guys with the feed up here. Don't go anywhere though. I'm just gonna top off on some water, and I will take I'll take a couple minute break, but don't miss me too much. Again, thank you to all the super chats. You guys are awesome, and the new members. And I'm still gonna do, I always do launch day codes. I don't have it up right now, but because I'm wearing this shirt, if you guys do want to get your own pointy end up, flamey end down shirt, I will make that 10% off on this break. So you can go over to shop.everydayastronaut.com for the next 24 hours and get 10% off the pointy end up, flamey end down shirt, which is using coupon code LAUNCHDAY, all one word, all lowercase. And again, while we're in the shop, we do have new keychains. Again, everything is actually fulfilled manually here in the United States. We don't do print on demand. These are all hand printed, hand sewn, out in Long Beach, California. This is the new Raptor hoodie. This is like super premium stuff now. We have a sleeve reminding you of the pressures and all of the, the specific impulse, the thrust, the chamber pressure of the full flow stage combustion cycle engine. New sew-in tags, custom hoodie strings. Like these are premium things. I'm really excited to get these out to you guys. And of course, this is my current favorite because has to do with Starship, but this is the Future Martian Society shirt, which has the Arcadia Planatia on it, which is where Starship hopefully will land someday on Mars, Arcadia Planatia, with the exact coordinates. And it even has on the sleeve, it shows you what the oxygen and the gravity and all of the things on Mars are. This is definitely one of my new favorite shirts. I think it is my new favorite shirt. But you can pick that up by going to shop.everydayastronaut.com. And if you need to cover your face hole, we have face hole Nada masks. They're just masks, but they're face hole cover Nada masks. So if you have a face hole and you need to cover it, you can grab that. Those are based off of different things like Normal, which of course is a saying around here for fun. But we have the hatch from the International Space Station as well, right there. And we also have, this is a sample return thing that was on the Apollo missions. So yeah, we got it nerdy for you. If you want to be, if you need to be a nerd while you're out and about grocery shopping and stuff, I've got you covered. I won't let you down. But yeah, there you go. I'm going to take a real quick break for you guys. Thank you guys again for hanging out. I'm going to try to assess and see if we can get more answers from Elon on Twitter and get a new T0 time and see if they're still going for tonight. I really hope they're going tonight because tomorrow's my dad's birthday. I was planning to go spend some time with my family tomorrow. And when we do these things all day, I'm basically just sitting here like, is it going? So I really hope it goes tonight just so I can have tomorrow off and relax it and not be worried about it constantly and worried about like leaving. So the venting from Starship has been happening the whole time. So we're still waiting to see where they're at. So hopefully we get an update. I'll be right back. I can't wait for you guys. It's not going to work this time. When I come back and everyone's like, you missed it, it's not going to work because I won't miss it. I will have known if I missed it because it would no longer be on the pad. It'd be on the landing pad. It'd be a different position. So you won't be able to trick me. Your tricks won't work this time, chat. I'm not going to fall for it. Not going to fall for it. Nice try. Nice try, you silly gooses. We'll see you in a minute. So, do you guys miss me? Do you guys miss me or not? I can't wait. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. Why? Why? Are we just trying to crash YouTube servers at this point? Oh, you guys can't fool me. What I should do is I should fool you guys. I should flip this screen around and make it so the flamey end is up. That's what I should be doing. Filters, you know, effects. Let's see if I can, like, I don't even know if I can do that. I don't know how to do that. Crop, pad. Let's see. Scaling, maybe crop. No. No, that, I don't know. I can't even prank you guys. You guys. You goofy McGoobers. Let's see. I swear, yeah, this is in reference to the other day. I should probably give a quick little update in case you happen to be tuning in and you don't know what's happening. Here's what's happened so far. Again, we are waiting very patiently. We have our patience pants on, don't we? Everyone, look down, make sure you're wearing your patience pants, because we are hoping to see SpaceX launch their launch. I'm going to very loosely say launch because it's only going to go 150 meters up, about that same amount of distance horizontally. It's just a very, very short hop, 150 meters, which is about 500 feet up. Not going to be anything too crazy as far as that goes, but it is wild. I mean, this is as cutting edge as this stuff gets right now, because this is SpaceX's Starship prototype vehicle. So again, we do have Starship progress for you guys here, now that everything's all changed in the world. I'm going to put this down here. I don't know what I'm doing. I need an adult. So this is where we're at. You know, of course, this is what SpaceX has been working on for so long. They really, since the beginning of 2019, they've been working on different prototypes, with only one having flown so far. That was Starhopper, which you can see in the bottom left-hand part of the screen. You can see the Starhopper prototype, but that flew last year twice. Since then, we've seen two mock-ups, basically, the Mark 1 and Mark 2. We've seen 4 pressure test articles. We've seen 3 full-scale prototypes, all fail, completely, utterly fail, not be good, but they learned something from it, and that's what it's all about. And today, we're hoping to see, I liked it better up here. I feel like it's less in the way. And today, we're hoping to see the 150-meter hop of this vehicle. And this vehicle, again, it's stainless steel. It has running on methane, liquid oxygen. It is running. It has a single Raptor engine, which is the most. Let's see. It's arguably the most advanced rocket engine in the world. It's a full flow stage combustion cycle, methane powered rocket engine, and it has very high efficiency, very high specific impulse. It has the highest chamber pressure, so the most pressure inside of the engine that's ever been. They broke the record officially. It is the most, yeah, as far as that stuff goes, and chamber pressure pretty well correlates to being able to have other things. Yeah, sorry, we're kind of waiting to see at this point. So yeah, at this point we're all just kind of waiting to see if there's anything else. I don't know. Good call. Hang on, let's tell Andrew that. There we go. We had a lowercase n apparently in our serial number 8, or both of those are lowercase. So sorry to the world of people that want perfection. Ooh, okay. Let's see. We got a review from Elon. Let's see what. How did I miss that? No, we didn't. We didn't get anything from Elon yet. But yeah, we do want this thing. We do want this thing to do something tonight. And again, they normally only have about 30 more minutes left in there where they can actually do this stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Is the amount of lift produced by the Raptor engines linear? I.e., does 1 Raptor equals 200 ton mean 10 Raptors equal? Absolutely. Yep. The more you stick on there, the more thrust you get. They don't like take thrust away from each other. But what does happen, of course, is the more Raptor engines or the more hardware you have, that the more heavy your vehicle is and the lower your thrust to weight ratio can be. It depends. Like, you know, engines weigh something, right? So, but the fixed thrust to weight ratio of Raptor is probably somewhere around 110 to 1 as far as its thrust to weight ratio. But the Merlin engine is a lot closer to 200 to 1. So the Merlin's actually the highest thrust to weight ratio of any engine really ever that's been produced. Yeah. Oh, this is so cool too. Sorry, again, I'm missing so many of your guys' tips. I sincerely apologize. But Chaos Dispenser says, my 9-year-old son Joey is glued to the stream with me. Can't get enough space streaming. That is awesome. He's in luck then, because this year, especially this summer, has been a very, very, very busy summer for spaceflight. I mean, we have seen some awesome things. I hope that a lot of people were inspired and saw the, DM2 launch and landing. How awesome was it just to see a new spacecraft actually doing something again and doing it cheaper and sexier and cooler and more capable than before, Been here since my single stage to orbit video, and I'm excited to study comp science at UW-Madison. Maybe I'll work on Starlink someday. Keep up the great work. Opinions on serial number 8. Awesome, Keegan. First off, congrats. Thanks for sticking around for so long. That SSTO video is over 2 years old. That's near the beginning of my YouTube career. But yeah, that's awesome. Congrats on working in comp sci. My opinions on serial number 8. I don't really have too many opinions yet because I don't really know too much about it, other than hopefully it's the first one that has substantial amounts of hardware on it. But we'll see. The window can kind of be extended, except for as long as the NOTAM, the actual FAA clearance, whatever that actually goes to. But yeah, I don't really have a strong opinion. Serial number 8 from the outside looks almost identical to serial number 5 here, and serial number 6. I mean, we're just kind of waiting to see what hardware gets all of the things, or which vehicle gets all the hardware, which one vehicle gets all these upgrades, and hopefully we see the things like the Alanerons, the flippity-flappity, air-breakity things installed on one of these vehicles soon. I really want to see that 20-kilometer hop happen ASAP. It is time. I'm just ready to see some more exciting action. We get so spoiled because, just got stung by 6 bees while cutting the grass. Got in the live stream during horn blasting. Fate told me to watch this great content. Thank you so much, Lucas. Sorry about your bee stings. I hope you're not allergic, and I hope you're doing okay. Let's see here. Better to be safe. Yes, of course. Scrubs are cheaper than booms. Again, this is all automated, though. There's computers that are reading every sensor, everything. If anything's looking off, the computer is going to call an abort, and that's likely exactly what happened. So we will see. Yeah, same with this. Positive thing is that thing didn't explode. That's exactly right. Otherwise, we'd be set back quite a bit. And again, here we go. Here's my Tesla adventure. How's it going? Thanks for saying hi. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Yeah. This is Elon of SpaceX, king of the cliffhanger. Thanks for all the content. I will tune in next episode for sure. Yeah. How's it going, Brian? Thanks for always tuning in. Thanks for always saying hi. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, again, hopefully we see... I don't know if we'll see something happen tonight. Still got I'm holding my breath a little bit, but we'll see. Like I said, I don't necessarily want this thing to go off tomorrow. Tomorrow's my dad's birthday. I was hoping to hang out with the family during the day, go hiking and all these things. We kind of had a day planned, and I don't want it to be totally stuck in purgatory. So this is, yeah, I don't think, again, the hop is how far it travels. It travels 150. I don't know if, unless maybe the ceiling, the 150 meters is the ceiling of where the vehicle can travel, but I don't know, actually. I don't know what the actual certification is. But we'll see. We'll see. We have a question in our Discord from Daylight Khan asking, how much does serial number 7 weigh? We don't know how much any of these things really weigh, other than the last we knew for sure is they were hoping to someday get below like 120 tons. with all the engines on it and everything. No idea where these are at right now. These might be substantially lighter, but yeah. So let's see here. Third and last try. Can you replace the SLS core and boosters with a super heavy booster? And should SpaceX offer a bid to do so? Rockets are not Kerbal Space Program, unfortunately. It's not as simple as just sticks, throw this in there, swap that around, blah, blah, blah. It just doesn't work that way. I would love to see that, but if you change the booster, you change the entire system, because don't forget, the SLS center core, the core needs to go almost to orbit. It's virtually orbital by the time it's intentionally left slightly shy of orbit so that it deorbits. But the SLS is a totally different vehicle. If you swap out the fuselage, now everything is totally different. Your upper stage, you'd have to have a lot higher thrust upper stage. A single RL-10 engine surely is not going to cut it. So it's just totally different. We can't just swap. Everything is different. Your grounded service equipment would have to now have methane instead of liquid hydrogen. Your ground vehicle, the actual crawler would have to be totally different. The tower, the umbilical tower would be totally different. Everything would be totally different. Rockets are just not plug and play. It takes a lot of consideration. That's why a vehicle like SLS had to be planned out before they really put the pen to the paper and before they actually started rolling metal. It literally all had to be thought out and say, okay, here's what we're doing. Here's our final plans. Now those plans affect this, and this. 100 different things, right? Change any one thing and you change it all, basically. So rockets just aren't they're just not plug and play like that. So let's see here. This is a good question from Peter. Is SpaceX reclaiming the methane? I noticed there isn't a flame column to burn off the extra methane. So they're now pumping it. They're now compressing the methane to keep it liquid. They no longer need the flame stack to flare off the boil off. But I think they do recycle when they end up detanking. They're able to recycle that back into the system, I believe. I need to maybe be corrected. Yeah, so let's see here. KSP, you want me to play some Kerbal because now we're kind of bored watching paint dry again. We're back in hurry up and wait syndrome. This is interesting. Have you ever looked at doing a video about the crewed Venus flyby mission that were studied by the U.S. and the USSR back in the 70s? I actually don't know anything about that. That sounds frankly fascinating to me, and maybe I should look into that. But yeah, I don't actually know too much about it, obviously, since this is news to me. But yeah. Let's see here. This is from Candlelight. Appreciate the work you guys do on the ground. There'd be no way for someone like me in the UK to otherwise keep updated on such a detailed scale. Love this community. I do too. Again, just huge thanks to everyone for tuning in and being part of this community. Thanks to all the other journalists and other people working hard to provide constant updates for everyone. It's all snowball. All ships rise with the tide. If we all are excited about this, it makes for an educated and smart, community where we're all teaching each other things, learning together, driven. If all of a sudden, like we've seen people here today in the chat saying that they changed their career because now they want to work on getting humans into Mars, getting humans into space, getting humans back to the moon. It changes lives, literally. I don't mean to sound like some kind of like, some kind of like, I don't know. I really honestly don't know what that's like. Yeah, I don't know how. I hope that doesn't sound super cheesy, but it just really is that important that we're all coming together and cheering for something and uplifting and collective education. This all matters for our future, the future of humanity. If we have an educated world, and if people are able to figure out really complicated things, just look at how much progress humanity's made in the past 100 years, right? This is one of those things when people say things like, sorry, I'm going to go on a mini rant, but when people say things like, why spend $1 billion on a rover to Mars when you could spend that on X, Y, and Z? Well, when you get people together to solve a problem that's very, very, very difficult, right, that is totally tangentially unrelated to anything, you get people, some of the smartest people focus on these very narrow niche things, right? And the money spent, first off, the money spent in space isn't thrown off. You don't put $1 billion out of a thing and throw it up into space and it's $1 billion in cash gone. That money's obviously spent on people, on well-educated people, on hardware, on companies. It stays here on Earth. That's an infrastructure built on Earth that it gets launched into space, but all that money is spent down here, high-paying salaries for people working in the industry. So it's generating revenue in that sense. But the bigger picture is, look at 100 years ago. No one, even the richest people in the world, did not have air conditioning, did not have water filters, did not hardly have running water still, hardly. They didn't have telephones. They didn't have all of the modern conveniences of today. Nobody had, like, literally, no matter how rich you were, you just couldn't have these things because they hadn't really been developed or invented. And that's just part of progress of humanity, is pushing the envelope on these really sometimes fringe technologies that get applied later on in different ways. Think about how many things have trickled down because we had to figure out how to keep someone alive in space. How do you make food? Like, so here's a question. How do you solve world hunger? Just solve world hunger, guys. Just go do it. Just solve it. Plant some stuff and just figure it out. Solve it. Well, I don't think you can just solve it. Otherwise, we would have figured it out. Obviously, people want that. People don't want people to be starving. But for instance, how do you have a crew live on the surface of an inhabitable planet for 2 years? Solve that. Now, that's something you can have a narrow enough frame of mind to actually solve. And I'll bet you the technologies used to solve how to have humans live on the surface of Mars, I'll bet you that technology would spin off and have huge implications here on Earth. Just like reclaiming water. We were able to drink out of the filthiest water on Earth because of some of the technology spun off by NASA and spun off from the space industry. But there's so many things like that even the people, some of the most people in the highest amounts of poverty, still on average below. If you're at the poverty line in the United States, you still have, like, usually air conditioning, a cell phone, refrigerator, all these things. Yes, I'm not saying that your life is fantastic, but it certainly is better off than it was 100 years ago, thanks to technology. And it's hard to grasp and hard to really push forward without pushing the envelope. Humanity does not move forward. We don't march forward unless we're pushing the envelope. And trying to get humans to live on Mars or live sustainably on the moon or live sustainably in space, yeah, that pushes envelopes. That makes us think. That makes us do new things that we've never attempted, never tried before. And that matters. All that stuff comes down, makes, again, for a higher educated workforce, higher educated population. And that stuff matters. I think you can look back at any point in human history. At one point, humans were trying to just simply cross a creek, and they maybe made like a little stick bridge, and then they tried to cross a bigger river, so they made like a little floaty boat thing, and then they tried to cross like bigger bodies of water, and they got all that stuff. So looks like we had a full-blown abort today. Hold on. Scrubbed for the day, unfortunately. Let's see here. It's scrubbed, everybody. Let me show you guys this. A Raptor turbopump spin start valve didn't open, triggering an automatic abort. We'll figure out why and retry tomorrow. There you go, guys. There you go. But yeah, that's my rant. That is in our nature, is to go and explore space, right? And this is just the next thing. We've explored Earth. We crossed ponds, and we crossed oceans, and we went to the depths of the ocean. We've just all of that stuff. The next step of human exploration is getting out there amongst the stars. And this is a very beginning step of that. Again, I'm really sorry that I've missed almost all of Matthew. I'm not going to produce a thank you for flying SpaceX. If you don't notice, my merchandise, I don't do things that are like branded to like SpaceX or NASA. I want them to do that. That's their brand. That is their entity. I don't sell things that say SpaceX. I sell things that are nods to SpaceX, nods to NASA, nods to their vehicle, nods to their hardware, nods to their engineers. But I don't want to be riding those coattails per se. That is absolutely for SpaceX to do. That is 100% for SpaceX to do. Let's see here real quick. Got to say this. Hello to Michaela. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you are a family that's tuned into a television waiting to see a rocket fly, a prototype rocket, you are an awesome family. And yeah, you are making a huge difference in the future just by getting your kids and your entire family, you know, involved in all this stuff, because it definitely matters. Oh man. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to head out of here so that I can get some dinner. Again, I really, really appreciate everyone for sticking around. Hopefully tomorrow we actually see this thing fly. Hopefully we get a decent time to see this thing fly, because I have to hang out with my dad tomorrow. Worst goes to worst, I'll have this stream up without my absolutely stunning face. No, there's a chance that I might not be able to attend, and if that's the case, I sincerely apologize. But we'll be able to still pull up the stream if we need to, but it just won't have commentary. So yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. And again, if you want to support me and continue to help me continue to do what I do, please consider becoming a Patreon member by going to patreon.com/everydayastronaut, where you can hang out in our Discord channel. Hi, Discord. Love you guys. And you know, all of that stuff. So it definitely helps us continue to make better products here. Keep the whole thing moving, forward, so we can provide better coverage for you, so we can make more videos, answer more questions, and just all around have a great time together. So patreon.com/everydayastronaut. Really appreciate it, guys. Consider doing the same thing for NASA Spaceflight and Lab Padre. Big resources for the space community. So of course, and thanks to them as well. But yeah, and also again, like I said today, I'll probably do it tomorrow again. If you want 10% off of your shirt, the pointy end up, flamey end down shirt is 10% off if you use coupon code LaunchDay by going to shop.everydayastronaut.com. Yeah, that's where you get it, right there. Pointy end up, flamey end down. And like I said, we do have new merchandise, so get yourself some merchandise. It's another fun way to support what I do if you guys want. Shop.everydayastronaut.com. But I just want to thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out. And again, I'm so sorry that I missed so many things. I really just can't keep up when there's this much stuff. I really, really appreciate you guys though. So thanks for watching paint dry with us. Hopefully tomorrow we see something happen. So, all right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. And that's going to do it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space down to Earth for everyday people. Bye, everybody.